Yo, 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 what is going on, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love? My name is Jamal Pope, aka J Phoenix, and this is going to be your astrology forecast for the new moon in Virgo this September 14th of 2023, Thursday. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. Hope that you guys are having a wonderful week so far, and we have a very powerful new moon in Virgo today. Ooh, this has been an interesting week for your boy. Just the different observations and going within, discovering things, and then such. Um, yeah, it's been a good week. It's been a good week of just uncovering and just seeing. You know, I think this is a good week for like mental fortitude. I think that's actually a really big thing with this new moon. You either can develop a greater sense of mental fortitude or fragility, if anything. So let's take a look at what's going on. Well, at the current moment, we do, of course, have this moon here at 15 degrees of Virgo, right? Making a nice little trine over to Jupiter. I didn't put that in the ticker at the bottom just because it's not going to really last that long, but we are within 6 degrees of this new moon, which will happen later on this evening. But we do have that moon, of course, which is trine over to Jupiter, which is nice, of course. But it's only going to really be nice if you are able to see the value and have the vision in your value and what you currently have, what you currently possess, if you will. And or if you're able to see the value of the things that are already in your life, the things that you have already manifested. Jupiter, like I said, it's retrograde, so there's more of a deflationary kind of energy, but it's more turned inward. So that means that there's quote unquote there's growth that can happen from the inside, and being able to have the vision and see, the beauty in what we already have, what we already possess. And of course, we have Uranus here too, which the moon, of course, will trine right after the new moon, where this new moon will be trining Uranus, essentially, just within like a degree. We have that as well. So it's like we got to be able to see the beauty and the people around us as well. Now, that's one of the biggest things that we are experiencing right now is this fear that people have for other people. People don't want to be around other people. People want to just stay at home all day. People want to work from home. People don't want to go into the office. People think of other people and they're like, ew. And that's exactly what the dark wants. The dark wants us to be separated. The dark doesn't want us to come together. Because when we come together and we don't listen to all the whispers from these darker entities, they're saying like, hey, but you're not good enough. They're not good enough. They did this thing. You did that thing. Are you sure you want to be around these people? Just go be by yourself. Just go be by yourself. Don't talk to people. Don't go out there. Don't be social. Fuck people. If we listen to those voices, how can we come together? How can we learn to embrace ourselves and each other for our faults and our shortcomings, but still have the power and the courage to come together and celebrate life? They don't want you to celebrate life. If people could come together and celebrate life, on like a daily basis, then the world would change forever. One of like sort of like the little portholes, like kind of peering into like what that kind of looks like from a weird aspect are a lot of these music festivals where people are able to come together and pretty much create their own economy. Now, there's a lot of drugs that's involved with those things. Unfortunately, overdoses that happen, and a lot of people that'll be like way out there. But with these festivals where people come together and they dance and they listen to the music and they share and they connect, the positive aspects of those moments is exactly what humanity is about. being able to come together to organize and to celebrate life in a beautiful way, to create, in many ways, their own economy without some sort of external force, without someone telling them, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that. It happens naturally. The sharing, the caring, the compassion, the camaraderie. But they don't want you to have that. They don't want you to experience that. They want you to focus on all of the nitty gritty details of someone else's life and poke holes at them so they can fester and never heal. This new moon in Virgo, which I said is happening at 21 degrees, let's just go ahead and just fast forward to that moment, right? This new moon is happening at 21 degrees, right? Around 8:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? So that's like what? That's what 5:45 p.m. on the West Coast, right? That's happening at 21 degrees. As you can see, it is in trine to Uranus, right? It is in trine to Uranus. This is definitely a moment where we can plant some nice seeds when it comes to connecting with other people, but there has to be a collective sense of uh, value and morality that's held here. But if it's not there, it's hard for people to come together, right? It's hard for people to come together, and we got to think about this too. It's like you have Jupiter, which is all about beliefs, but that's retrograde too. So this is not really coming from some sort of external like source or some type of hierophant or some type of preacher. This is coming from within, you know, your connection and honoring your connection to the universe, your connection to God, you know, finding the eternal within you, discovering the sun within you, right? So this new moon definitely can allow us to connect with other people in a very powerful way, but only if we're willing to do the work and not necessarily rely on external sources. It's about honoring your connection with the divine. And then in turn, honoring the divine within every single being, within every single person, even the people that you hate, even the people that you disdain, even the people that you think are out to get you, even the people that you think are trying to put you down. You can still honor the divine in them. That doesn't mean that you have to just commune with them 24/7. It just means that you can still honor the divine in these people, which can be tough because the dark side doesn't even want you to do that. Even when it comes to like the dark people and the people that are overtaken by darker entities. Now we can actually look at them and be like, you know what? I still honor the divine in you because it's still there. I'm not gonna just be around you and hang out with you and shit. We ain't gonna go out and get drinks and shit. But I know a lot of y'all like to do blow. A lot of y'all like to do blow and shit. We ain't gonna do that. But I can still honor the divine in you. And I hope and I wish that you will find your way so that humanity can come together. And then you go about your way. But for the vast majority of us that don't talk to the elites on a daily day basis, right? This is about the finding that divine within everyone, you know, acknowledging that, realizing that we all have our unique quirks and our unique things that make us us. But the reason why I talk about this is that you have 2 plus 1, which is 3. 3 comes back to Jupiter, comes back to belief. So this is definitely going to be a new moon that can fortify your beliefs, maybe establish some new beliefs, or it could change your beliefs in a big way. This is mutable Earth too, right? So that's the thing we got to think about. This is mutable Earth. So there could be a changing quality of this. something new can be born from this, right? This is a new seed that we're planting that we will see, how it comes about when the full moon reaches Pisces, right? And if we want to just for shits and giggles, might as well. Oh, not the full moon in Pisces, the full moon in Virgo. Excuse me. Uh-oh, I went too far. All right, so it looks like it's going to happen. Let's see, we'll do that. And then, okay, yeah, we're a lot closer now. And then doing another, oh, wait, no. Dang. All right. Let me do that. That's funny. Of course, this is going to be, so the full moon in Virgo, which the seed that we're planting right now, it's going to be happening at 5 degrees. With the Mars and Venus that are finally with each other, a Venus actually moves ahead of Mars, and a sun that is going to be conjunct Mercury and Saturn at the same time, in between those energies, right? And it looks like we even have like some trining energy too. So yeah, that's going to definitely be the February 24th. We will see what happens based off of this new moon, what sort of manifests when we get to this point, right? But as you can see, because this is the full moon in Pisces that will, the full moon in Virgo that we'll be getting, all the sun is in Pisces, you can see how all the personal planets have moved to the other side, right? At this point, of course. Mercury is behind the sun again, but it's also squished between Mercury and Saturn in Pisces. So, because Pisces is a non-linear kind of energy, is not subject to time, you will probably start to feel this kind of energy, but starting now, between now and then. You'll start to kind of feel this, especially whenever the moon crosses this area. Because like I said, it's not very linear, right? Chiron will be on the north node. It's at 16 degrees too. This is definitely an interesting chart. I'm excited to definitely talk about this one when we get closer to it. But let's focus on the current new moon. It's at 21 degrees still, right? So interesting how where Mercury is here at 8 degrees, it's actually going to be opposing where Saturn's going to be during that full moon in Virgo. So it's opposing where it's going to be, but then it's going to be over here in that energy with it. So in any event, I think this is a new moon that is going to definitely be a game changer for a lot of people, but it still is wanting us to get down and do some of the work. Virgo isn't necessarily this just super polished, clean energy that we think it is. It's about getting down and doing the work, getting our hands dirty, getting our hands in the dirt, getting them in the mud, planting those actual seeds, beginning the harvest, if you will, right? In order to harvest, you have to get down there. You have to pull things up from the roots, right? If you're like harvesting something that grows in the ground and stuff like that, you can't just pull from the top, because then all you get are like the little leaves, stuff like that at the top. No, you got to go down there and pull from the root. But people don't want to do that right now. They don't want to pull from the root. And they only just see the surface level shit. People aren't willing to go into those depths because they don't want to get their hands dirty. They want to look polished. They want to look clean. They want to look perfect. Because if they look perfect, no one's going to judge them. And people are going to judge regardless of how you look. It doesn't matter how squeaky clean you are. Somebody somewhere is going to judge you. Somebody somewhere is going to be like, I don't know about that. So you might as well have fun with it. Get artistic, get messy, make mistakes, have paint on your face. You might as well experiment and explore this world for all it has to offer and not hold yourself back because of anxieties, apprehensions, worries, doubts, fears. We will experience all of those. But if you stay in those places and you don't allow that co-creative artistic aspect of yourself to come out and to flourish, then how are we going to raise the vibration of this planet? How are we going to raise the vibration of this collective consciousness? We won't, because you're too afraid to pick yourself out of your own muck and mire. And it can be a hard lesson to learn, because it's the realization that nobody is going to come save you. But I bet you have a support system still. I bet you have people that still love you and care about you and want to see you do well. But ultimately, you have to go within and save yourself. You have to go within and find your connection with the divine and your connection with source, universe, whatever you want to call it, God. Right? I still say God, right? You have to go within and find your relationship and your connection with God. And that is what's going to, quote unquote, save you. I want to show you guys something else real fast because I thought that this was interesting, right? So let's see. Share screen. So I pulled up the Sabian symbol for this new moon. Whenever you, of course, you go to Virgo 21, it will go to Virgo 22. And this new moon is honestly close to this degree just based off of the solar minute too. So here's what we got. We got a royal coat of arms enriched with precious stones. This symbol implies is a strong connection to heritage and family lines. This can give rise to feelings of pride and honor as one accepts that a sense of nobility is one's birthright. Even if there's no actual nobility in your bloodline, there can be a sense of nobility about your character and bearing. There are things to stand up for and represent, regardless of where you come from and who your ancestors and family are. Believing in yourself and your abilities will give you strength and stability, and people will believe in your beauty, talent, or worth, regardless of your background or where you're from. A long lineage standing behind nobility, coat of arms, pure blood, hereditary issues, having rights and prestige, pageantry, knights jousting, inheritances, privileged tartans. Badly aspected, of course, superficial judgment of one's worth. Privileges for the select few, elitism, snobbery, feeling above everyone, class consciousness, treating people like underlings. This is going to get exposed, especially this. This is going to get exposed. This is going to get exposed first. This is going to get exposed first. And then this is going to get exposed. Believing in yourself and your abilities will give you strength and stability, and people will believe in your beauty, talent, or worth, regardless of your background or where you're from. Some of the most powerful light workers live in abject poverty right now. They might not even realize that they are a light worker. But some of the most powerful ones live in abject poverty right now. And maybe they have lived in generational poverty. But the world is about to shift. Because we all come from God. We all are noble. We all have nobility. We are all super talented, beautiful, and worthy. Don't get caught up on your external circumstances and what you are born into in this physical reality, when on a spiritual sense, You are noble and you are of God. That's what they don't want you to know. And they want you to think that you have to go through someone else. And when I say someone else, I mean someone like physical, someone external, someone here. You don't have to go through anyone. You know what I did this morning? I woke up and I prayed, what I'm saying? I did my prayers, and then for some reason a Bible verse came up in my head. So I looked it up. It was what, John 3:16 or something like that. And I was talking about how God loved the world so much that, um, he sent his son so that when people will believe in his son and seek him through his son, that they would have eternal life, right? Now, it's interesting too how I'm mentioning the whole religious aspect to the things. And I do feel like they have taken the image of Jesus and the symbol of Jesus and they've bastardized it. I do feel like it's been bastardized. And I do feel like we're not getting a clear understanding of what they meant esoterically by this, right? But that's why the meditation is discover the eternal within yourself. Because I read that passage and I think it's a powerful passage. I really do. All right. And then I went outside and I looked at the sun, the physical representation of the sun that we have. Right. And I looked at the sun. I breathed it in. I looked at the sun. I stared at it for a good bit. And that is how I acknowledged the divine in that moment. And I guess you could say the Christ consciousness or whatever, by looking at the sun and taking in that message. That's how I did it today. And I also realized that the physical representation of the sun is just that, the physical representation, but the spiritual behind it, that the physical emanates from, that is what's important. And having that knowledge and that awareness is the key. So I want you to know, beloved, that no matter where you are in your life, no matter where you come from, no matter who you are of the divine. And don't let anyone tell you that you're not. Yes, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to, quote unquote, sin, if you will. But God loves you. God loves you so much more than we can realize. We can't even fathom the love that God has. Can't even fathom it. Just knowing that fact, that no matter what you're going through, you may ask and question why we may be going through certain things, but it's all to make you stronger. It's all to make you more fortified. It's all to make you realize that this physical reality and all of its ups and downs is still a very beautiful place where we can come and we can celebrate life and celebrate love. That's what it really comes down to. Now, we also remember, of course, that this new moon does still have all of these retrograde planets. Right? You still have all these retrograde planets. Mercury, Uranus, Jupiter, Chiron, which is a minor asteroid, mind you, but still it's retrograde, Neptune, Saturn, and Pluto. So even though we have a new moon, and we have a Mercury that's about to go forward, but still retrograde, it's not going to go direct just yet. So there's this element of like wanting to jump the gun almost. Pause, hit the brakes a little bit. We're not just gonna jump the gun right quick, you know what I'm saying? We have a Venus that's building up in its third square to Jupiter, right? So we have some building energy. Like I said, we are still in many ways in the pre-game, right? When it comes to a lot of these energies, still in the pre-game. Sun's about to build up to the opposition with Neptune. And then a few days later, it is the autumnal equinox. So we're not quite out of the woods yet. And if anyone's telling you that because Mercury is either stopped or going direct at this time, yeah, don't believe them, because it's not true. It's not true. I'm gonna show you guys here as far as like the speed that everything's moving at. Oh, where is it? Yeah. Here, let me share screen window. Okay, yeah. So yes, we do have this new moon at 21 degrees. Yeah, Mercury is stationed, but it's still retrograde. It's red. Okay. It is still retrograding. Even though it's moving super, super fucking slow, it is still in retrograde. It's trying to figure everything out right now with their mind, trying to have the full picture right now, and trying to make a decision on that is not going to bode well. This is a time where we still have to observe and just chill out and wait a little bit. We can't just jump the gun just yet. Not yet. I'll show you guys when Mercury finally comes forward, right? I'll show you guys what that looks like. So we're not quite there. We're like on the precipice of it. See that moon's gonna, and this is going more into Friday, which we'll talk more about Friday. Of course, you have the moon, which will quincunx the North Node, right? You have the moon, which is going to oppose Neptune, right? Venus and Mercury is still retrograde, still station retrograde. And then you're going to have that moon, which is going to trine over to Pluto, which is getting ready to come out at 27 degrees, which is the United States of America's Pluto. So it's about to get their Pluto return again. Still retrograde. And then that moon's going to come into Libra. Still retrograde. And then that moon's going to click onto 1 degree. And then finally, Mercury stations direct. So it's not going to be until midday tomorrow where we get this. So that means with this new moon, what's being planted is that, like, we can have the courage to move forward and to create a new life and to be very intentional about the things that we do, have the gratitude for what we already have, and see how we can expand upon the resources that we have already accumulated and what we can do. But we're not going to have the full picture, right? We're not going to have the full picture. We're not going to, we have to trust in the macro in many ways, but also not get so particular on the micro that we forget about the macro. We forget about the big picture and our purpose and why we came here and what we are doing here, So we're not going to have the full big picture, but we still strive towards that goal, that higher place, if you will, that higher ideal, if you will. Yeah, we don't necessarily know how we're going to get there, but we continue to strive for it. And we don't get so bogged down on every little detail of our day-to-day life that it holds us back from our greatest expression of joy and creativity, Because if we go into too much perfectionist mode, then we're never going to manifest it. It'll always just stay as an idea. It'll never actually manifest. So yeah, trying to find that balance between, having these bigger ideals and knowing the bigger picture, but not quite having the full picture, but still having the courage and bravery to strive towards that and to be a little bit more intentional in our daily life, absolutely, but not so much to the point where we feel like we have to control every little facet of our daily life in order to get to that higher ideal, that bigger picture. No, to be a little bit more mutable, a little bit more bendable, to kind of go with the flow, roll with the punches a little bit that life will throw at us. Still willing to do the work, still willing to get our hands dirty. All right, let's get into the cards. So. Don't know if you guys can hear the people working out outside. Perhaps you can, perhaps you can't. Someone's doing some like weed hacking or something. Discover the internal within yourself. Do not freak yourself out today and tomorrow, feeling like you have to make some sort of colossal, massive change right now in order to feel better, in order to move your life forward. Changes are coming. You can trust, changes are coming. It will happen, right? But you don't have to make some sort of massive, huge, colossal shift right now in order to feel better, in order to feel like you are moving forward. Just because we have all these planets stopped does not mean that you are not advancing still, or that you can't advance, right? All right. So what we got for the cards today. They have the card of art or temperance, right? But the card of art, let's just talk about art, right? It's interesting how we are all co-creators, right? Art is short for artificial. And a lot of times when we hear artificial, we think it's a bad thing. But technically, we are all artists, co-creators, because we can take the things that have already been created and we can morph and shift them. Virgo, beautiful earth, right? We could take them, morph and shift them to create something beautiful. Everything you see here was created from things from the earth. Everything, no matter how far removed it is from its natural state, it was all created from the earth. And you can create beautiful things with it, like this awesome tapestry behind me, right? You see? But all the materials in that came from the earth. The fabrics, the dyes, it all comes from the earth. But someone had to have a vision and take what was already here and morph it and shift it into art. So it's about whether or not you're going to take that superpower of yours that we all possess, or you're going to take that superpower and use it to uplift humanity or to suppress humanity. The choice is yours. We have the Lover's card. This is definitely not a time to be making radical, crazy decisions in your relationships, especially when it comes to if you're feeling some type of discord. This is not the time to be going off the rails. This is not the time to have those super deep conversations that may result in an argument. Because with the new moon in Virgo, and a Mercury that's not quite direct yet, and it's still retrograde, there could be some mental breakdowns. You may say things that you don't actually mean. You may jump the gun. So give it some time. It's a beautiful time. I'm going to draw one more card for it too. Yep, we do have the Eight of Swords. So are you going to hold yourself back? And are you going to keep the blindfold on and not move out of this situation and stay stuck in your own muck, in your own mire, and not realize that not only can you connect with someone else, a conscious lover, in a very powerful way, but you also are this co-creative being. Art, remember? Let's see what we have for the I'm just gonna cut the deck a few times, honestly. I'm not gonna even like really shuffle it because I'm just interested to see what comes up. Ah, the orangutan. I like that. Working to live joyously, not living to work. Working to live joyously, not living to work. How many people live to work in this world? Far too many. Working to live joyously. Even if you're not doing the thing that you want to do, even if you haven't turned your passion, a lot of people are passionate about stuff, right? A lot of people are passionate about music. Maybe they won't turn the music into their main job, but how can you integrate it into your life? How can you integrate it into it? Working to live joyously, not living to work. Living joyously, yeah. So life isn't just work, too. That's the other part about it. So if you're not doing what you love to do as your employment and how you make money, that doesn't mean that you just stop doing it and you don't integrate it into your life at all. It's the lesson I have to learn too. Gonna be a powerful new moon. So it's gonna be a powerful new moon. So and I'm feeling called to just randomly. I'm gonna just pull out this oh wait, hold on. I'll be right back actually. I gotta go after this. But I recently bought this book called Pillow Thoughts. It's like a book of poetry, right? And you know, it's a nice little book. It's like separated out into um, different things. The table of thoughts is like if you're dreaming of someone, if you're in love, if you're heartbroken, if you're lonely, if you're sad, if you're missing someone, if you need encouragement, if you are soul searching, if you need a reason to stay, these are for you. It's kind of interesting. All of the things here, and I'm gonna go to the if you need encouragement because I feel like that's what a lot of people need right now. Um, I like the image that it has here. It's like a little jellyfish watering this plant, which is perfect for this Virgo new moon, right? Like this first poem, I will not bandage all your wounds. I will not kiss all your bruises. I will not admire all your scars. Instead, I will watch you as you bandage yourself and mend all of your bruises and wear your own scars because you are your own hero and all of your sadness is yours. And I will love you because of it all. Beautiful stuff, right? I love that. I know you feel like your best wasn't enough. I know you feel like all the hours were wasted. I know you feel disappointed in yourself. But even though you feel these things, probably all at once right now, I just want you to know that you're more than what you believe. I look at you. I know that you're smart and beautiful and capable. I believe in you, and I'll tell you every day until you believe it too. Emotional and messy, sometimes lost and confused, but if you only realize the wisdom behind those eyes, with the heart that never lies, would you storm the world like you haven't a thing to lose? Freaking love that. Imagine if you realized that you had nothing to lose in this life, everything to gain, but nothing to lose. Imagine how you'd live your life. Imagine the art that you would create. Imagine the beauty that you would create. Imagine the relationships that you would build. That's what it's all about. So, anyway, just wanted to share that with you guys. I hope that you all enjoyed this new moon in Virgo astrology forecast. Trust that you guys have a wonderful day. Keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate things. We'll make it through this. It's a little tough right now. It's a lot of pressure right now, but we will make it through this. Trust. So I love you all. Y'all take care. Stay blessed. Have a wonderful day. And I'll see you guys on the next astrology forecast. Peace.